Hiya, folks. Oh gosh, I've never been introduced. I haven't been introduced for a while, so it's a bit awkward. I'm normally the one doing all the introductions, so I'm now a bit like, oh, okay, that's really flashy. So my name's Lovelda Vincenzi. I'm an international MC and moderator. And so Anik asked me to come here this evening and talk to you guys a little bit about what it takes to monetize a speaking business. Am I in the right place? Is that what you got, people are wanting? So just by a quick show of hands, who here is already monetizing their speaking business? Okay. Who here would like to monetize a speaking business? Okay. So I guess there are a few principles that sit behind it. Who's doing speaking engagements at the moment? So you're currently out being booked, you're on stages, you're doing speaking engagements. So I'm going to start from the top and work my way down. There's really two key points with some bits off the side that I'd like to talk to you about. The first one is, if you want to monetize something, then first you've got to actually, there's a little bit of a mindset shift where you start to think of it as a sales engagement. And what I'm finding really interesting, particularly having started a group working with female speakers who are getting on stages, is just the fact that people aren't thinking of it like a business. You know, you wouldn't open a shop and open the door and then not do any marketing, not contact anybody, and just expect people to show up. But somehow when it comes to speaking, it's like, oh, it's just recommendations. And recommendations are brilliant. And it's a really great foundation to say that somebody's recommending you. However, if you're wanting to really make it big on stages, I'm telling you, recommendations is not going to be enough. You've got to start really thinking of it like a speaking business. And that means that you have to do sales. And so for some people, the immediate thought when I say, well, this means you're selling, is like, oh, not me. Anybody have that like icky feeling around sales? It's like, oh, I don't want to do it. It feels really uncomfortable. Okay, so my full-time job is sales. But I actually work as an account manager, which means that what I'm doing is relationship selling. And I think where a lot of people start to get uncomfortable around sales is thinking that the selling has got to be this like pushy thing where you're like, I'm going out and I'm contacting people. And there's a degree of that. But the easier side is what relationships are in place at the moment that you're not nurturing. So here's a quick and easy one. You've got a speaking engagement booked. How do you leverage that engagement? Are you using it on your social media consistently leading up to the gig? So are you telling people, I'm preparing, look at me? Because here's a really funny thing. When I started emceeing, I probably did about 3 or 4 gigs during the whole year. And every time I met up with people, because I was like uber excited that I'd done this gig, so I was all over social media like, oh my God, I'm here and it's really cool. And because I'd done that a few times, people hadn't really connected the dots. What they remembered was, she's doing a lot of talking on stages. So I'd meet with people like 6 months later and they go, oh my gosh, there's this amazing thing happening. And I'd forget about it because it had happened so long ago. But it was that consistent input onto my feed that started to get people thinking, oh, that's something she does. So there's a quick one. You've got a speaking engagement, leverage it. The other way to leverage that engagement is when you're in the room, do you ask for the next gig? Or do you kind of be like, I'm done. Thank God I got through it. I'm out the door. Hurrah. How are you making the most use of what you've got booked already? And this isn't even going out looking for brand new, exciting stuff. This is just saying, I have an engagement booked. What else can I do with it? So how can I use that on my social media to let people know that I'm speaking so that it's a subtle way of just pushing information out to people? How do I use the event organizer I've connected with, deepen that relationship to make more introductions to new relationships? Event organizers know event organizers, like plumbers know plumbers, electricians know electricians. They just know each other. They kind of, speakers know speakers. Have you asked the organizer if they know anybody else who's looking for speakers? I can guarantee you they will. And so these are some small things that we miss because we're so terrified of selling that we don't even pick up some of these small things. The other thing Anik mentioned earlier is footage and the importance of being able to demonstrate what you've done. So when I'm speaking to people about speaking on stages, I have 3 Ps. The first one's your presentation, and that's really about actually how powerful are you on the stage? Do you have a decent message to deliver? Can you use your voice, your tonation, is the way that you're standing congruent? Do you actually have a skill in sharing a message? That's first and foremost. Secondly is proof. And proof is, would you hire a wedding singer or a wedding band without having seen them for yourself? Anybody? No, but they're really good. I'm telling you, they're amazing. Are you going to hire them? So why on earth do you think somebody's going to hire you as a speaker just because you tell them you speak on something? Isn't it the same thing? You're doing something that's entertaining, that's uplifting. You're presenting a message in a style that only you can present it in. And not everybody's the right fit for an event. Some events are upbeat and there are loads of energy, and others, they're looking for something with a lot more, that's a lot more grounded and it's slower energy. Sometimes it's just that they're curating the speakers to move the energy around during the course of the event. So it depends. Sometimes they're looking for somebody more corporate, sometimes they're looking for somebody with a bit more humor, and that's their style. But how the heck are they supposed to know this if you can't demonstrate it through some video footage? You're just expecting that if you sit down and say, I'm amazing, that they're going to get that? So, have the video footage that you, and it's just taking footage. Initially, just take it, knock up a YouTube channel and just put it there. Just have a link you can send people to. Don't bother curating it. Don't get old fancy pants. Just have something. Sketchy footage is something. You can say, the camera wasn't great or whatever. It's something to demonstrate what you're like. And it's better than no footage at all, because now you're just relying on you saying that you're great to be sufficient. And the big events, they are going to ask you for it. They're not going to book you without it. So make sure that you have footage. The third P is then pull. And pull is where you transform your speaking from a charge into an investment. And that's really about being able to say who comes because you're there. So this is when you're in like Oprah territory and Les Brown territory. Like, these are the headline acts. You book them, they're a lot of money, but you book them because people come. So now it's an investment, right? Whereas when you're booking somebody else, it's a speaker, and you've kind of got to weigh that up, and it's a little bit different. And often, if you're really wanting to go big in this, one of the ways that you monetize is who can you then say, look, if I come along, these other people come with me. The other reason why I'm really big on footage, and so I talk about getting out there and soft selling. And so often people say, oh, I'll just get an agent, right? We'll just outsource the problem. Somebody else can find me people. Here's the reality with agents. They want people who have a business, because they make money when they can shift you. And if you can't shift yourself and you're expecting them to do it, you're not a high value proposition, okay? You'll just work, right? Whereas if you come and you say, I'm overbooked, I've got a line of people, and I can't deal with all of this. It's too much work. Snap you up in a heartbeat. Agents aren't looking for they're not looking for speaker businesses to build, okay? They're not looking for somebody who's struggling to find gigs themselves so that they can invest in building your speaker business. That's not their job. They're looking for, like anybody else, like where's the quick wins? Who's going to come to my site because I have this speaker? And do they have like 4 or 5 gigs already lined up? So you need to be able to demonstrate that you're doing this before you even go to an agent. So how do you demonstrate it? It means you actually have to start doing stuff that's selling your business. It means you have to contact people. It means you have to do business development. You actually need to find an event and contact them. Find event organizers. I mean, it sounds really basic, right? Find event organizers and say, can I get on your stage? It sounds really basic. But it's uncomfortable for many of us. It's not natural. It feels awkward, so I'll do it later. I'll do it later. I'll do it later. So here's my challenge. If you're really serious, because I've taken it on for myself and things are shifting in a big way for me just as a result. Can you spare half an hour a day? Just half an hour. Yeah? So half an hour every single day for at least 30 days, minimum of 30 days. Ideally, first thing in the morning, prospect. Get on Google, get on LinkedIn, get on Eventbrite, find event organizers. Contact event organizers. Follow up with event organizers. Then follow up with them again. And then maybe a third time for good luck. but it's the art of consistently doing it. And if you do that for half an hour every day, and that's not a lot of time, set an alarm, everything else gets switched off. But for half an hour every single day, I invite you, if you're really serious about monetizing your business, to make time to make the connections and do the business development to make it a reality. Thank you. Am I to time?